That little girl is already a better actress than Asa will ever be. Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Felix Unger, and this is my review of Meow. Benny Chan has directed some of my favorite local movies, like last year's Call of Heroes. But he also directed 2010's City Under Siege. So when I first saw the trailer for Meow, starring Louis Koo and a cat from a local advertising campaign, I was trepidatious. Sick. Manning's is a franchise in Hong Kong that sells health and beauty products. Louis Koo does advertising for them, and I assume he gets well paid to do so. He appeared in some of these advertisements with Meow, an anthropomorphic cat. They did a Chinese New Year greeting video in 2015.
各位大家好，我係古天樂，我同萬寧貓咧喺度同大家拜個早年，祝大家新年。
Your life's complete now, isn't it? I know mine is. It's perfectly normal, especially for these days, for a movie character to cross over into advertising. It's a lot less common for an advertising mascot to hit the big screen. It would be like Mr. Clean doing movie reviews. Never mind. Meow tells the story of a cat from another planet, a planet with ears, that lives with a family who seem to have no problem suddenly accepting a human-sized bipedal cat. But remember, this is a Category 1 movie that's for children. Now, there's no real necessity in telling you the story of Meow, because quite honestly, it's the least important thing about this movie. So instead, I'm going to focus on some things just in and around the movie. The opening of the film takes place on the cat's home planet, and the whole segment is, naturally, digitally rendered. I'm not sure of the budget for this movie, but I have to say that the digital effects were surprisingly good. I mean, Industrial Light and Magic aren't going to lose any sleep, but considering the time and money that were probably spent on this movie, I was really pleasantly surprised, and frankly, I was shocked at how nice they look. Now, the same, believe it or not, actually goes for the cat. I'm going to buy the DVD of this movie as long as they have some kind of making of segment where they explain exactly how they filmed this cat. I really want to know how they did it, because you could tell that at least part of it was a suit, because people would, you know, hug him and hold hands, whatever. But the head, or at least the face, was probably digitally rendered, and I kept staring at it trying to figure it out, and I couldn't. So I'm hoping the DVD will include that information, because I, for one, would be really interested, and I think you might too, especially if you watch the movie. There's a lot of unexpected surprises in Meow, and I think that's one reason that I enjoyed it as much as I did, which in and of itself is a surprise. I mean, yeah, it's a children's film, but it's a Hong Kong children's film, and it has some very child-unfriendly things in it. Only in Hong Kong could you make a Category 1 movie about a cat from outer space that at one point in the story wants to murder an entire family. Only in Hong Kong can you find dialogue like, "We can moisturize as we rob." Only in Hong Kong could you see a parody of a 1970s version of The Monkey King that's as endearingly nostalgic as it is patently ridiculous. Speaking of which, it's an awful lot of fun to watch Louis Koo play a straight man to a giant cat. It's also fun to see Michelle Yeoh in Meow, but that's because she's a good actress. Unfortunately, in Meow, she's got kind of a glorified cameo.
Liu Chutian,
who's all of 8 years old, is so cute, it's annoying. She's also a very good actress in her own right, I mean, for an 8-year-old. Michelle Yeoh need not be nervous, but Charlene Choi is probably shitting herself. As well she should be. But now I'm just being mean. Not wrong, just mean. Speaking of which, I can excuse the heaping melodrama, the chronic scene chewing, and the overacting in Meow, because it's a movie for children. I'm still trying to work out why it's done in so many local films that are ostensibly for adults, but what do I know about movies, right? Meow is so much fun that I didn't even mind the Harriet Young cameo. I'm not a fan. What can I say? Well, I can say that I don't think children's films are the best place to have a blackface joke. I don't think there's any good place but teaching a new generation of children to laugh at really old racist tropes is just wrong. It's also wrong to repeat the footage in the end credits. Casual racism aside, I have to admit, I like this movie a lot more than I expected to, because honestly, I didn't expect to like it at all. I was expecting an easy review, figuring I could beat on this movie like a rented stepchild. Believe me, I am rarely so happy to be so wrong. Meow is good, mindless fun that still manages to have a few moments that will intrigue you, at least on a technical level. And thank goodness for that. I really did enjoy this movie much more than I expected. So if you have a chance, go watch this movie in the cinema. It's a lot of fun because on a big screen you can really appreciate the digital effects and you can try to figure out how they did the cat, because I don't know. If you don't get a chance to watch it in the cinema, wait till you can buy a disc or otherwise pay money for the privilege of watching this movie. Don't steal it. Don't steal a children's movie. That's just sick. And as long as we're talking about money, please do me a favor. Click on my Patreon page, please. Because you know what? With YouTube slashing advertiser revenue, I've got about 12 or 15 supporters on Patreon, and I'm already making more money than I ever did on YouTube. And I'm very grateful to those people. They get exclusive content that you don't. When this movie gets released to home video, I'll update the description with a link where you could buy a Blu-ray or a DVD. If you enjoyed this review, tell me. If you didn't, tell me. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.